Welcome back to the program. For tonight's show, we're going to do something a little bit different. I could sit here and I could talk about how amazing Pete Hegseth did today and how he's well on his way to confirmation. I could talk about the latest going on with the wildfires, how much is contained, who's to blame. But I want to talk about something different because today made history. And today should go down in history as a day in which we found out, finally, after 62 years, who exactly killed former President John F. Kennedy. I want you to listen to this. Before I play this, this is from Alex Jones. This is from InfoWars. I've always said Alex Jones is a patriot. I've always said that. I've always said he was brave. He was iconic. He's an awesome person. I've also said that I never thought that he was 100% accurate. I gave him about an 85%, okay? But this one is true. There's no question in my mind that this is true because I verified it with Roger Stone today. But what this is a never before heard audio of former executive director of the Democratic National Committee, an extremely close associate of former Vice President Lyndon Baines Johnson. His name is Clifton Crawford Carter, and he is admitting on tape that Lyndon Baines Johnson, who I have always suspected was part of the assassination, hired a person by the name of Mac Wallace to assassinate John F. Kennedy. Listen close, and if I have to, I'll stop and read the screen if I have to, because it's a little muffled and it's an old recording, and no, it's not AI. It's already been checked by the experts. It's official.
It's sure good to see you. How's life treating you today? Well, Saul, it's been pretty touch and go situation.
All right, this is going to be really hard to hear. This is where, I miss John all the time, but I really miss John right about now. So I'm going to have to kind of read some of it to you, I guess. So let's see. Sure good to see you. How's life treating you? This is the voice of Billy Sol Estes.
How's life treating you today?
Well, Saul, it's been a pretty touch and go situation. This is Clifton C. Carter responding.
Pretty touch and go situation.
Lyndon and I have had quite a few
unpleasant words here.
Unpleasant words here lately over the deal that, and by the way, I'm not going to do this for 10 minutes, just another minute or so.
Over the deal with
that he hired Mac Wallace to assassinate the president.
Mac Wallace to assassinate the president.
It's been hectic in every way. But we lived through it this far, and I guess
we've lived through it this far, and I guess we'll continue to do so.
And I guess we'll continue to do so. Lyndon should have never issued that order to Mac.
That order to Mike.
But we've had our differences, and I'm true blue to Lyndon.
But we've had our differences, and I'm true blue to Lyndon
as I've always been, and tried to carry out every order that he's ever given me. But this is one I'll probably never be able to forget. And that's all I'm going to go into. I will connect the entire link. You can watch the entire thing if you want to watch an hour and a half. But this is the meat right here. This is absolute proof that Lyndon Baines Johnson, the former executive of the DNC, and his close associate hired a guy named Mac Wallace to shoot and kill JFK. Okay? That's what happened. And it's an unbelievable revelation. Now, I sent a text to Roger not very long ago. And here's what I wrote. I said, "Is the Mac Wallace tape authentic?" Yes, all that information is in my book. So I do have a couple of questions as an investigative journalist. Why now? Why now? Why is the grandson of the person coming forward to Alex Jones, but not just Alex Jones, others, and he actually takes a little bit of a, I guess he explains a little bit more. I didn't want to do the whole word for word thing. That was an old part, obviously an old recording. So let's listen to the rest, which it comes into focus here in just a second. Is it right here? Yeah, it's like right here.
Always say in public that Alex Jones is the most extraordinary person I've ever met.
I'll tell you, that f***ing guy is right about a lot of shit.
Alex Jones has been right a lot of times.
Alex has been right on for over a decade.
Fluoride, just like Alex Jones was saying, not good. It's crazy.
The real war's here with the globalists and Soros and Obama and the New World Order and BlackRock. They've declared war on us, and we accept the challenge. We're taking the country back.
AlexJones.network is tomorrow's news today.
I'm Shane Stevens, and deacon in a Baptist church, a serial entrepreneur, father of 4 boys, been married for 23 years-ish, and spend most of my time running the businesses here. Any spare time I have, I go out to the ranch and I guide hunts, entertain guests out there. My grandfather on my mother's side, the Estes side of the family, is Billy Saul Estes. And he was engaged in the highest echelons of the political power battles back in the 60s, late 50s and 60s, tied in close with LBJ, and apparently they were involved in some cotton allotment schemes, and apparently he had some tapes discussing the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Cliff Carter was at one point the head of the DNC. Loyal Democrat. He worked with LBJ for a long time. He was one of his bagmen. So him, 2-3 other folks would help to pull in money from the big companies. So like Brown and Root, HB Zachary, Halliburton, all these companies that were kind of set up and ultimately getting contracts from LBJ. And then in turn, they were helping to contribute large amounts of money to LBJ. My granddad died in 2013, and it was a few years after he passed away, so I'm going to guess maybe 2015, 16, somewhere in that time frame. And my Uncle Daryl, he was getting dementia, and he's like, I've got these tapes, and he said that he didn't want to discard them, that he was supposed to know the right time to release them. That time never came. So he passed them on. They ended up coming to me for safekeeping. So this tape was, to the best of my understanding, recorded perhaps 1971 or 2, somewhere in that time frame, just based on what they're talking about, really based on Cliff Carter's timeline of when he passed away. And it's as plain as day, these two talking very openly about who was involved in the assassination of JFK.
So that was, I showed you obviously the original audio first and then the explanation second. Now, I found out some more interesting information. So Clifton Crawford Carter died in 1971 after a mysterious illness. Okay? Remember 1971. Because the guy, Mac Carter, Mac Wallace is his name. right here, also died in 1971. And it says here, and this guy, by the way, is someone that actually killed and murdered somebody before. So it was probably a hired gun. But he says, what has he done? Let me see here. I'm scrolling. Here it is. He was, on January 7, 1971, Wallace died while his car ran off the road 3.5 miles south of Pittsburgh, Texas, on U.S. Route 271, noting that the highway was neither icy nor wet. The investigation and the patrolman stated that Wallace had struck a bridge abutment after apparently losing control of his car. He was buried in the Novellis Chapel Cemetery in Mount Pleasant, Texas. Again, 1971. It's interesting that both of these people that were involved in this, according to the grandson, died in the same year. This is, in my opinion, basically a smoking gun. And what it does is it shows you that your government is willing to lie to you. And not just lie to you, take away a president, blame it on a patsy named Lee Harvey Oswald, and do it for 62 years. 62 years. Your government woke up every day, went to bed at night, telling you the same lie. That there was some guy named Lee Harvey Oswald that shot the former president. This is a historic day. January 14th, 2025. Because this is the day that tape was released. Now, they also said that they have given it previously to President Trump, to Don Jr. has it, Ronna McDaniel, Ken Paxton. So apparently they've had this tape for a while. And for whatever reason, it came out today. So what else is there, if anything else? When President Trump's inaugurated and he said one of the first things he's going to do is open up the books. Well, it certainly seems as that we've gotten at least a peek at one of the chapters. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.